What's going on, guys? We are at beautiful Sand Hollow State Park in Hurricane, Utah for a UTV takeover event. You can see all the trucks, trailers here. So we drove into Hurricane, Utah 2 days ago from Tucson, Arizona area, and just want to kind of do a little overview of how the Tundra was towing. I have a couple mods done to it to help it improve the towing. So I'll show you what I got here. I did the coachbuilder shackles in the rear. Those are the +2 shackles, so it gives you about 1.25 inch lift in the rear. And as you know, with Trd Pro, they come level from the factory. So once you put a little weight in them, it looks like they're sagging in the back. So people complain, they got soft springs, this and that, and so they sag. That's not the case. The springs and leaf spring pack in the rear of the Trd Pro is the same as the other Tundras. The only difference is the shocks. You have Fox shocks in the back. The shocks don't support weight, just the springs do. The leaf spring pack is the same. Confirm that with Toyota Parts Department. So the only thing different is that it's level. So once you put a little weight, your rear end drops and it looks like it's a sagging truck. It's just because the truck's level from the factory. So to alleviate that, you want to put a little rake back in it. So I did the coachbuilder +2 shackles, which gives you, they say 1.25 inch lift, ends up giving you about 1.5 inch. It's about a 1/2 inch higher in the rear on the Pros. So now I'm at just about 2 inches higher in the rear. So as you can see, with about 4,000 pounds trailer on the back, it sits still a little higher in the back than the front. And I have the razor pulled back on the trail a little bit to kind of balance the tongue weight out a little bit. So obviously the more you pull it up, the truck's going to drop a little more in the rear, but it's really good. It drives great. I also did, because this is a 2021 Trd Pro, and 2019 Toyota took away the transmission cooler, so I want to keep the truck long term. So for benefit of longevity, I added the transmission cooler, as you can see in there. Transmission cooler kit came from Genuine Cooling Systems. It was about $800. They have 2 kits available. I got their cheaper one. They have another higher volume one, but I'll tell you, with towing with this one, I had no need for the other one. And I'll tell you about the trans temps here in a second too. So I towed with the truck before I added the trans cooler. I had the trailer loaded with 4 ATVs, so which is about the same amount of weight as I got here now with the Razor, which is about 2,000 pounds. So with the 4 ATVs on it in the trailer, looking at about 4,000 pounds towing. So I towed that for about 125 miles before I added the trans cooler. I was running at about 230, 235 degrees pan temperature in the transmission, and torque converter would peak, obviously. But I had to run it in S4. I couldn't keep it in drive because the torque converter locking and unlocking was generating a lot more heat, and with no trans cooler, wouldn't cool off that well. So since I put the trans cooler on, then I put that on about 2 days before this trip. Took it on the trip. I ran at about 195 degrees pan temp for 8 hours of towing, and that was 530 miles. So it's been great. I mean, the truck is awesome towing. Zero issue. I can leave it in drive now. I don't have to put it in S4 and all that stuff. Put it in tow haul mode, leave it in drive, let the computer do its thing for shifting. Has no problems hunting for gears or anything like that. It's programmed really well from the factory, so it does great. No heat issues. Torque converter would, obviously when it shifts, would spike up quick. It's about, maybe on a long pull up a hill. There was a lot of mountain passes too on the trip from Tucson to Hurricane, Utah, especially going, up 17 north through Flagstaff and all that stuff. So it's not a flat journey at all. It's mostly mountainous overpasses and stuff. So it did really well. The pan temps never got over 198, and torque converter would peak at say 225, got up to 230 on a long pull, and then instantly cooled off to pan temps to about 195. And it was awesome. I can't ask for anything better than that. Fuel economy towing the 4,000 pounds. The trip here and the 2 days we've been here back and forth from the hotel, I'm about averaging about 11.8. It's showing 11.7 right now. We've been idling, but it was about 11.8, 11.9 when we got here. So truck's been great. I love it. It tows awesome. Zero complaints at all. For longevity of the truck, I put the trans cooler in it. Toyota says you don't need it, but I just feel more comfortable with the cooler transmission temps, especially if I want to keep the truck long term. I don't want to have any issues. The truck will last forever. That trans cooler that's in there now is better than any trans cooler that Toyota had in it from the factory when they started making these trucks in 07. So all the parts are from Genuine Cooling Systems users are Toyota OEM parts. So it's the Toyota transmission thermostat, all the hard lines, everything, every part is from Toyota. The only thing aftermarket is the cooler itself. It's custom mounted bracket that he makes to go with the trans cooler of your choice. So install took about 2 hours for everything. That includes checking the transmission fluid level, which is super easy. But I just kind of want to give you guys a quick rundown on how the Toyota Tundra tows, the TRD Pro specifically. It tows great. Like I said, coachbuilder shackles and the trans cooler, and this thing tows awesome. I have the tires at 40 PSI in the rear for when I tow, and 35 in the front. I keep them at 35 anyway in the front because these factory tires are a little soft. It just helps with the fuel mileage and also cornering, a little bit less flex on the sidewall. So other than that, you guys have any questions, comments, leave them below. Like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next video. Thanks.